How you guys doing today? This is Derek House with dhftns.com, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make some sweet potato tuna cakes. I'm pretty much drooling thinking about this recipe, so let's get to it. First thing you're going to do is take out a bowl. We're going to put all of our ingredients into that and then mix them together with our hand. The first ingredient we're going to add in is 1 large whole egg. If you don't want to use a whole egg to cut down on fats, you can use 2 large egg whites instead. Half a teaspoon of black pepper. Half a teaspoon of salt. Half a teaspoon of garlic powder. 1 tablespoon of fresh or freeze-dried dill. 1.5 tablespoons of fresh or freeze-dried parsley. 1 can of drained tuna, which is around 4 ounces or 113 grams. Half a large sweet potato, which is around 100 grams. You can either use canned or fresh sweet potato in this recipe. As you guys saw, I used fresh sweet potato. If you're using fresh, just make sure to cook it before you put it into your recipe. 1 teaspoon of Tabasco sauce. You can use whatever flavor Tabasco sauce you want. I'm using the chipotle flavor, which I find delicious in this recipe. I like things spicy. If you don't like things that spicy, only add around 1/2 teaspoon. The next thing we're going to do is make our own oat flour. So take 1/4 cup or 20 grams of rolled oats and put them into either a food processor or blender. And then we're just going to go ahead and blend them together until they look like flour. And there is your homemade oat flour. So now put your homemade oat flour into your mix. You don't have to use oat flour in this recipe. You can use any other flour that you may prefer, or you could use 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs instead. Now wash a hand, and we're gonna mix everything together with that hand. Preheat your oven on 350 and then take out a baking sheet and either spray the baking sheet with non-stick cooking spray, brush on a light coat of olive oil, or take out parchment paper like I did and layer the top of the baking sheet with it. All we're going to do now is take the mix and shape it into cakes. However big or small you want them is up to you. That's how big I make mine. That's what they should look like before going into the oven. We're going to put them in the oven on 350 for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, go ahead and take them out. We're going to flip them over and put them back in the oven for an additional 10 minutes on 350. As for the calories in the whole recipe, there's only 356. 8 grams of fat, 34 grams of carbs, 5 grams of fiber, and 37 grams of protein. So if you divide this up into 4 like I did, it's only around 89 calories per cake. After the additional 10 minutes of cooking time, take them out. And there are your sweet potato tuna cakes. As you guys saw, the cakes are done, so now I'm just gonna try one for you guys. The great thing about this recipe is that if you don't really like the taste of tuna, you can't taste the tuna at all in this recipe. A ton of flavors hit you at once. It's not too spicy at all with the teaspoon of Tabasco sauce, so don't worry about it being too spicy. The oat flour is a great substitute for the breadcrumbs. Absolutely delicious. Aside from this recipe tasting great, it's also really filling as well. For only having 356 calories, you get a lot of bang for your buck. So if you want to, you could double or even triple this recipe and eat it throughout the week. Alright guys, I just want to thank you for watching. If you liked my sweet potato tuna cakes recipe, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. It motivates me to keep making these. If you haven't already subscribed, you can do so by clicking right there on the screen coming up. And by subscribing, you'll get an email every week telling you I upload a new video. Comments or suggestions go down below. I do try and respond to everybody. Alright guys, I got some cakes to finish. Stay healthy.